Good afternoon. It's Mike with Rock Bottom Christian Ministries. We trust you are doing well in the Lord. So today is November 14th, 2025. We recently started a series on our YouTube channel called Voiced Mail. And what voiced mail is it's an opportunity for you, the listener, to hear the letters that we receive from inmates throughout prisons and jails across the United States. As you might know, we pen pal these inmates, and we love letters because it gives us the opportunity to really go deeper into thought with the inmates. It's better than a text or a phone call even at times, but the letter allows us to slow down and allows us to engage in deeper thought with the inmates. So our first video we launched was last month. We're trying to do one or two a month. And that letter was from an inmate who was doing life in prison without parole. And so he read his first letter. And because it's a little more than a month since the last one, I'm going to kick you guys a little bonus letter. So we're going to read two letters today. We're going to read the second and third letters from that same individual. So life without parole. He's doing life in prison. And this is someone we've had the pleasure of getting to know and minister to. What a blessing he really has become in our lives, especially in my life personally, as he's encouraging me to stay focused on the Lord. And so here is his second letter. Okay, this was written last summer, and he writes, "Good afternoon, Brother Mike. Thank you very much for taking your time to write to me. Mostly for your prayers, excuse me, for my family and I. I hope and pray that when you get my letter, it will find you, your fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, and your family in good health. I would like to let you know that I'm not antisocial, yet after being incarcerated for 34 years, I am not into having too many inmates around me. Before I know it, they all go home and I stay in prison all by myself. It's okay because God put me in this yard so I can help some inmates look at my lifestyle and how I am in here, living my consequences from back in 1990. Without God, there is no love. Without God, there is no peace in our hearts. Without God, there could never be any type of forgiveness in our world. Before I let you go, I want to know that I am a beginner in God's walk, but I am sick and tired of my old ignorant ways. I will never in my life will use violence again against any human. May you and all your loved ones stay blessed and happy." And then he signs his name. And then he writes in a different font on his letter, and he gives like a little PS remark. It says, "I grew up in hate, mental abuse, physical abuse, my father and many others. By my father and many others. It's not easy for me to forgive, but with God, I am now in more peace." So that's letter number 2 from the individual we're titling, well, actually he titled himself in letter 1, go back and watch that video, but as a life without parole. And so you can get an idea of the severity of some of these letters that we receive, and you can get a sense of the emotion tied up in them. I mean, for him to sit here and to want to write letters to me, I've only met him once in person, actually, and we have written a handful of letters back and forth. And so it is definitely an outlet for him. We offer pen pal mentorship if that's something you'd like to be involved in with our ministry. But I'm going to go ahead now and continue reading the third letter now from this individual. Again, he's in prison. We just learned he's he's been down in prison already for 34 years for a crime he committed in 1990, in the 90s. 1990s actually more than, but anyhow. So, and just a little disclaimer, our ministry and myself never ask the individuals of their crimes or what they're in for or the dates of all that type of stuff or the severity of things. We don't ask for the outcome of their sentences, of their cases, of any appeals or anything along those lines. If they feel comfortable and disclose that information, then that's one thing. But we're not putting that practice at the forefront of our ministry. So we are just an ear to listen, and we guide these individuals to Jesus. And so here is his third letter to us, written a couple months ago now. And it says, "Dear Brother Mike, I would love for you to know that I'm so grateful to hear from you, but mostly that God is keeping you and all your loved ones safe and healthy. As for me, I'm actually doing pretty good, thanks to God. I tried my best to stay positive, attend my self-help groups, and work every day. I finally called home, and my aunt, I'm not going to say the names, but his aunt, and then he writes the name, gave me some sad news. The only thing that I can do is pray and leave everything in God's hands. Thank you so much for the scriptures that you wrote in your last letter for me. I do try my best to live in peace and to help those who are in need. I do not have a lot of money, but I do like to give when I can. For instance, they put an older man in my cell." And then he mentions his name. He says he's 75 years old, and no one else in my cell looks out for him or helps him out. So I just do whatever I can for him. Younger men nowadays seem to have no kindness towards our elders. So there are times when I just give up and sit somewhere in front of the day room TV and stay to myself. So this is some of the things that I do to help out other prisoners. I will continue to do what I can in God's grace. May God bless you and your family, your new brother in Christ. And then he signs his name. So once again, you can see he's describing his situation, but he's making efforts to reflect his love for God, and God's love through him is reaching people. I think it was in the last letter or a letter I've yet to read of his on camera, but he mentions how if he's not careful, it's very difficult for him to get very negative quickly, because he, in fact, is there for life. So even if someone comes and does 15 years in prison, he gets to know that person, he can mentor that person and be in that person's life, but they leave and he has to stay there. And so he was explaining a little bit of that process to me before. He actually said that, it was quite interesting actually, he said that the U.S. Navy came and interviewed him in regards to his mindset, asking him questions of how he copes and manages his time, and how he can remain so positive. So quite interesting. Not sure if there was other research along those lines out there that we could investigate, but it just shows that his willpower and his willingness, right? He emphasizes that he's willing to love the Lord. He makes this recognition that he's new in Christ. He denotes that he's older and that it's difficult for him socially with different generations, and there's a respect barrier there. And then he mentions how he gets to witness and to love on somebody there who we would say would be the least of these, right? Maybe an outcast even in the prison system, an older man who is just really alone. So yeah, these are some great opportunities for you to hear the testimonies from behind the walls. We will continue to do these. I've got stacks of letters. I hope it encourages you. I hope it inspires you. And I hope it gives you just a better picture of those that we're ministering to. I know a letter can only say so much. And there are opportunities, especially if you're in Central California, to get involved in your local jail ministries. If you're not in the Fresno area, because that's where our ministry home base is, and you are in an area where you would like to start getting into jail ministries, but don't know where to begin, go ahead and reach out to us. You can reach us at info@rockbottom724.org. That's our email. Or check us out on our website at www.rockbottom724.org. And just a reminder, the 724 is a reference to Matthew 7:24, where Jesus says, anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like the wise man who built his house on the rock. Rock bottom. We'll see you soon. God bless.